We're live.
We
live
are
at 5.
live.
5:05, 5:06.
We are live at 5-ish. I love it. Here we are at Broadway.com. I'm Beth
I'm
Stevens.
Paul Wontorek, and we have a fabulous guest that we love, Caroline O'Connor, who is currently like slaying it, stopping the show in Anastasia. We love her. She's here. We're going to talk to her, but first the news.
First the news. There's a brand new Broadway show starting performances tonight. That's 1984.
It's a good one. It's really good. I saw it in London.
He saw it in London, so if you need a review or
If
whatever.
you need a review, just tweet at me.
So Big Brother will be watching you. Tom Sturridge, Olivia Wilde, and Reed Birney.
Yep.
Tony winner Reed Birney in 1984. Very exciting.
Here's the question. By the time this show opens, will we have the same president?
Wow, that was not the question I was thinking. I thought
It's
you were
a
going to say,
question.
will we have the technology to be watched at all times? Probably we already are. I have more news on a lighter note. We're going to head away from the dystopian drama for a second.
Okay.
Bruce Norris, who won a Pulitzer Prize and a Tony Award.
Clybourne Park.
Thank you, for Clybourne Park. His play, A Parallelogram, which played Chicago but has never played New York, is going to play second stage.
Now, parallelogram, that's one of those things, right?
Yeah.
It's a geometric shape.
It's not about geometry, but thank you for asking.
It has to have something to do with, why would it be called that?
Why?
It has four sides, but it's off, right?
Breaking news, Virginia Woolf is not in Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. There could be no geometry in A Parallelogram.
Okay.
Moving on, Celia Keenan Bolger, Stephen Kunkin, and Anita Gillette are in this show.
Great cast.
Tony nominees, directed by Michael Greif.
Who's super popular and nominated for a Tony Award.
Correct.
And he's created a lot of great shows in the past.
And he always has great casts.
Yeah, and this year he created what? Dear Evan Hansen and Warpaint.
Yes.
Am I forgetting any?
Probably, because he's such a busy guy. Who knows what else he's done?
He's busy.
Drew Gehling, who was the original
Gynecologist.
in Waitress. I'm sure that's how he introduces himself at parties. Is
Beth
returning.
knows I just like saying that word.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't? He is returning to Waitress.
Yes.
He'll come back on June 27th. He's been off on a Roman holiday, so to speak.
I didn't realize Roman holiday, the run is already over, so it was in...
On June 27th, he's coming back, so I think it's not over.
Oh, he's still, yeah, it's there now.
He's not coming back tomorrow.
Okay, so
He's
right
coming back
now
in a
he's
month.
still, right.
Yes.
Because Chris Dianatopoulos.
I was hoping you would pronounce that.
I
so
finally learned how to
wouldn't
say it. I probably
He
still
will
said
play
it
his
wrong.
final performance on June 25th, and of course, Betsy Wolfe will take over for Sarah Bareilles on June 13th.
Fun fact.
I love fun facts.
Tomorrow we are putting up the season finale of Susan Blackwell, side by side.
You said that backwards.
By
Side by side by Susan Blackwell.
Right. Featuring Sarah Bareilles.
It's a lot of SBS.
We have a special episode going
That
coming
is
up.
special.
Just thought I would get everyone excited.
The Mentor, starring F. Murray Abraham, is transferring to the West End for a summer run at the Vaudeville Theater. Isn't that fancy, Caroline O'Connor?
You know who's been on the West End?
Caroline
O'Connor.
Do you know who hasn't? Us.
She knows all about it.
It's a compelling comedy about art and artists and the legacy of fame. That sounds fascinating. Opens on July 4th.
The Legacy of Fame. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Just saying fame was kind of...
Not
I was
the
trying
musical
to
fame.
process what that meant.
Not the musical fame.
Oh, thank you, Marley. Marley just tuned in for the first time in 2 weeks and loves our new set.
Oh, well,
so
thank
you,
you.
Marley.
We love
Here
it
we
too.
are. It's a little fancier.
Very fancy.
So I try to wear a blazer when I can.
When you can, you got to spiff up. Catherine Gallagher, we love her.
Oh,
We
she's
already
great.
knew she was going to be at 54 Below.
You know who her father is?
25th? I do. I was going to
It's actually part of the story.
It's
isn't it?
actually part of the story,
right.
actually.
Go ahead.
Peter Gallagher.
Yes.
Her
Peter
father.
Gallagher.
What? Mind blown. He's going to join her on stage at Feinstein's 54 Below.
Well, he was in Guys and Dolls
I knew that.
with Faith Prince and Nathan Lane.
Correct.
That iconic Jerry Zaks production, and Jerry Zaks is now directing Hello Dolly. He was great in that. So is
So
he
maybe
gonna,
you should go on May 25th and tell him how you feel.
Yeah, I would love
Okay.
that. He's a great guy. And you know what? He has a nice daughter, too.
He has a great daughter, very talented. You know the play Church and State? I'm sure you do, because if you walk around New York, there are posters for it everywhere. They are going to welcome Andy Talon and Broadway alum Megan Sikora to the cast
Cool.
on May 29th. So that's pretty awesome.
You know, Sydney, Australia's tuned in. I think that's another place that Caroline
Really?
O'Connor's
What time
been.
is it there?
I think she's been there, too. We've never been there.
Oh,
but
they're not
Adam,
tuning in for
Adam
us.
is watching.
They're tuning in for Caroline O'Connor, so I better get through
International audiences today. We love it.
Global. Andy Carl and the Groundhog Day cast are going to perform at Barnes & Noble tomorrow at 4:30.
That's what they all do.
That's what they
you
do.
do when you have a CD.
That's how you do it.
You go to 86th and Lex.
Yeah, all the way
Go
up
up
the
there.
Upper East Side.
Check out the new train line while you're up there, and you sing at Barnes & Noble.
That's what you do.
You know what they used to do?
They used to go to Lincoln Center.
Or even better, they used to go like Virgin Megastore, which was like 3 blocks from
How
here.
old do you think I am, Paul Winter?
It
I don't
was
want. Don't
very
answer
convenient.
that. Remember that time Oh Hello was on Broadway?
Yes, didn't they tape that?
They did. So Nick Kroll and John Mulaney's hilarious show is going to debut on Netflix on June 13th. So when you're coming off the Tonys,
Oh, interesting.
you can
Good
go
timing.
into an Oh Hello.
I wonder if they'll be on the
swirl.
Tonys in character, but they will.
I hope so.
That makes sense.
They're going to do a tuna thing with Kevin Spacey.
It's gonna be a
He's
whole-
going to look at the House of Cards. I see you, Tony writers. I know what you're up to.
Is that
All right,
it?
that's it. There's not
Is
a
that
lot
all
of
there
news
is?
today. I mean, it's exciting news, but that's all I have.
Okay, well, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with the fabulous Caroline O'Connor.
Dire circumstances, why wallow in regrets? We're out of second chances. Why are we here except to forget? We know the world is fickle. Life is a leaky sieve. Pass me a glass and give me a bow and drink to the Countess. Nobody now. Why should I care as long as I dare to live? In the land of yesterday. Let's run up the bill as if we're still royalty and claims. Let this be a sign. Let this road be mine. Let it lead me to my past and bring me home at
Broadway is waking up to some big news. That's right, Groundhog Day is nominated for 7 Tony Awards, including Best Musical. And Andy Karl is a Tony nominee for Best Actor. Groundhog Day on Broadway.
Hey guys, we're back live at 5, and Caroline O'Connor has joined us. The
Hello.
fabulous Caroline O'Connor. How
Hi.
are you?
I'm great. I'm so excited to be here with you. You
are
know
you
why?
kidding
I
me?
just think you're amazing. You're like the encyclopedia of musical theatre
Wow.
that I just love.
Wow, well, thank you so much.
Because I'm like a musical theatre geek too.
Yeah, are you really?
I really
well,
love
you've
it.
done a lot of them. I was like reminding myself, I looked at your resume again and I was like so
How
many.
old is she?
So many. No, I thought so many classic roles. Like so many. It's amazing what
A
you've
lot.
been able to do.
Yeah, especially since I started in Australia, which is so far, far away.
Yeah.
But I was hungry and I just loved the theatre and used to buy the albums, you know, and look at all the photos and dream about going to England and especially America. So I can't quite believe that I'm here now. It's amazing.
So now, if you were a little girl, you'd be all over Broadway.com. You'd be on it like every day, like watching this.
Absolutely.
So the future Caroline O'Connors of the world watching this, you can do it too.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So Countess Lily.
Yeah.
Now we're Countess Lily. We're in Anastasia.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm not. You are.
Yeah.
It's a big new Broadway hit at the Broadhurst Theater.
It is.
Beautiful show. And you are hilarious, and you have this thing because when you were in Christmas Story too, like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
You also like had crazy showstoppers. You're sort of like known now for the get ready for a Broadway showstopper. There's Caroline O'Connor. Let's do this.
I don't know how this happens, but it does. It's funny, I bumped into Benj and Justin the other day at a function, and I thought to myself how lucky I was, you know, to get to work with them on that show, on A Christmas Story, which I absolutely adored. And when we like that number, You'll Shoot Your Eye Out, that wasn't in the show, you know, originally. So they
Right.
popped that in for a tap dancing crazy person who happened to be me. And it was just a blessing, a great role. And now this one, I mean, Lily, she's just so much fun.
Yeah.
I'm having the time of my life, yeah, really.
Tap dancing crazy person. Is that how you
But
describe yourself?
well, yeah, a little, well, whatever you want, as long as crazy's involved, I seem to be able to do that. But I'm loving it. John Bolton, of course, was in Christmas Story, which is kind
Right,
of
I
spooky.
know.
Now we're friends and we're now playing opposite each other. and
you guys are so fun together in Anastasia.
Yeah, I love him.
It's great chemistry, and you guys are a really.
It's the real deal, you know, how you have that timing, that simpatico that just happens and you don't have to really work too hard at it and you just feel the audience each night. And we're so lucky because we're packed, you know, every single
Yeah.
night with crazy Fanastasias
Oh my
who just
God.
love the show. And we love them because, you know, the show, it looks like it's going to have a good run.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna have a good run. When I saw it in previews, the girl next to me was losing her mind. I mean, it was like it's like what she'd been dreaming of for 20 years was coming was happening in front of her eyes, and she couldn't believe it was actually happening.
I'm
But
surprised
this
we don't
happens
have
every
like,
night.
yeah, well, I would have thought there'd be like first aid at the theatre because the screaming, seriously, at the end of the show is unbelievable. It is just ear-piercing screams of delight of people that have been waiting for this musical, movie to be turned into a musical.
Yeah, and it's a good group
And
of
I
people.
didn't know it.
You didn't
Seriously.
know. Okay, so that's what I wanted to ask you. Did you? So you did it at Hartford Stage.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was what, like a year and a half?
Yeah, about a year ago.
Yeah,
Well,
about a
just
year
over.
ago. And so at that point, you didn't know the movie.
No.
So when you got
When I
you got the
auditioned,
gig?
I didn't know the movie because this seems to be an incredibly popular film in America, but not so much in England or Australia. So I hadn't been brought up with it. I wasn't familiar with it. So of course, when I got the call, I watched it. It happened to be on Netflix at the time. Would you believe?
That's right. It was on Netflix.
Yeah.
I remember it was on
and
Netflix.
and so I watched it and went, oh wow, well that role looks like, well, as Bernadette Peters was doing the film as Sophie.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, all right then. Well, then when I got the script, it had been rewritten. Her name was now Lily, and it had been changed. And I really didn't know what to expect because, unlike the other characters, it wasn't really kind of on the page. So I kind of just jumped on board, hoping that it would be a great adventure. And of course, it's been fantastic, especially for me, like really fantastic.
So you have a whole new batch of fans now. People, like, right, this whole generation of these girls. And the funny
Yes.
thing is, you must have been so confused. You were like, I don't even know this movie. There's fans of it? And then turns out there's a lot of
Like
them.
a lot, like
A lot-
it was
a lot of
seriously
them.
amazing. So we're all so delighted. You can imagine when you're in a show that has that kind of response every night, it's just fabulous.
So what do you think about the news of A Christmas Story Live is happening?
That's so brilliant.
You should be in it.
Oh, well,
We're into
from
that.
your mouth to God's ears, but I don't think that will happen. But I will watch it with delight.
You know,
When
you
it
never know
happens.
what's
It's
gonna
a great
happen.
idea, right? I mean,
Would
it's
you
perfect.
like to do one of those live?
Yeah.
Would that be fun for
Yeah,
you?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah?
Terrifying, but brilliantly, excitingly terrifying. Yeah.
Can we talk about Nene Legs in the air?
Yes.
Because I'm obsessed with her.
I have to say, America
Do you
really...
get a lot of people at the stage door asking you about this?
Yes,
Okay, so you were in Moulin Rouge,
I was.
which is one of the greatest movie musicals ever made.
You liked it. I'm so
No.
pleased.
No, I love it. I mean, it is phenomenal.
But seriously, some people, not so much, but a lot of people really do.
I know, because it was very forward thinking, and
Yeah.
it's definitely very modern, and it wasn't like I love it.
It was very different. And it was new. I mean, seriously, musicals had kind of, on screen, had died.
Yeah.
Nobody was
Right.
doing them
Oh, I know,
anymore.
yeah.
No one wanted to take the risk.
Yeah.
Can I tell you how it happened?
Yes,
It's really
please.
interesting because I was
Yes.
doing Chicago in Australia.
You were Velma Kelly.
I was playing Velma Kelly.
And you did it on Broadway. What was or did you do it in, where'd you do it first?
I did it at the Schubert.
You did it on Broadway first?
No,
Velma
I did
Kelly?
Australia first.
Okay, Australia first, okay.
And then after Moulin Rouge happened,
Then you
then
came
I
to
was
Broadway.
invited to come over to do it.
Okay,
on
right.
Broadway,
Okay, I remember that now.
And I did the
Okay.
Schubert, and then I went to the Ambassadors with it. And I was
Okay,
with
so
Charlotte.
you were Velma in Australia.
Yeah, Velma in Australia, and I was. Everyone was auditioning for this film, Moulin Rouge, and because of my age mostly, I was thinking to myself, well, they're not going to be looking for someone of my age, my type even. So everyone was talking about how brilliant the audition was and how exciting it was to meet Baz Luhrmann.
Right.
And I thought, well, I'm not going to go because I just don't think I'm his sort of cup of tea. And he came to the opening night of Chicago. He was sitting in the audience. And of course, we had our opening night party, and the next morning I woke up and I'd had a few champagnes, I had a little bit of a headache, and the fax machine started buzzing. Yes, the fax machine started buzzing, and this fax came through from my agent saying, Baz Luhrmann saw you last night and would love you to do a screen test for him for the
Wow.
film.
Wow.
And it was just...
So you didn't have to audition?
I
The
did.
opening night was your audition, though, but then you did a screen test.
Kind of, yeah.
You went right in and did a screen test.
I did a screen test, went to his house, and we had a chat, and I sang something from Cabaret, which he'd requested, and a little scene from Cabaret as well, which apparently he loves. And the next thing I knew, I was at Fox Studios doing this incredible film.
Wow.
And the tango was not in the script.
This is the Roxanne tango.
Yeah, the
which is
tango
amazing.
was amazing, yeah. And so that was sort of added later.
It's added for you.
I don't know.
Because of your skills.
It was the most exciting time, and it took a year to shoot the film.
Wow.
So, yeah, I
Amazing.
feel really, really fortunate.
And is that supposed to come to stage now, right? What do you
It
think about
is.
that? I've been waiting for this forever.
I know,
like-
it's funny because people at the stage door say, will you be in it? And I'll be like, no, I don't think so. Not now, no. But,
I'm excited that's finally happening.
yeah, I think they're in workshops right now, aren't they?
Yeah, I think so.
I think
yeah,
so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Somebody told me they were in a workshop, and I was like, what? Tell me everything. But then I didn't find out everything because they probably had to sign their life away.
Yeah.
Okay, Peyton wants to know, what's the best advice you've ever been given?
To expect nothing. and to go to every audition. Like, just go. It doesn't even matter whether you want it or not, just for the experience of it. And sometimes you get lucky.
To go in for things even if you don't think you're right for it. And
Oh, no, not if you're not right for it. But if you get a call, then go. Don't go, oh, I think you should go. I think that I approach every single show, as if there's someone out there that might be important enough.
like Baz
to-
Luhrmann on opening night. Hello.
I think that had a lot to do with it. It was like suddenly it was like, wait a minute, you never know. So yeah, I do often sometimes imagine that the people are out there. When you get to like show 7 of the week and you're a little bit tired,
Right,
you're like,
right.
but you never know.
Yeah. Yeah, no wonder you look out in the audience. You told me you saw me in the
I saw
audience.
you, yeah.
No wonder you're like looking. You're like looking
You
for
were like
Baz
in
Luhrmann,
E, you were on the aisle there, I saw you, you just popped out, but you had the thing.
I had an
some people have
enormous
that.
head, Caroline.
It's a beautiful head.
Laura saw you in Gypsy. I'm very jealous. Your Roses turn was phenomenal. I'm so jealous I didn't get to see you do that.
Loved
Was
that.
that like, would you like to do that again?
I've done it twice now because I did it in Australia and in England, but
Mm-hmm.
I would love to do it again. Ethel Merman was like my hero when I was a very young little girl. I used to listen to her a lot.
Yeah.
And I have a recording of me at 11 singing Rose's Turn.
Are you serious?
Seriously,
Oh
like
my
I'd
God.
set the tape recorder and put the record on.
Like full out, you did the
Because
whole
I
thing?
wanted to sound like her. Yeah, like, Mama's gotta let go. I literally used to impersonate her as a child. I adored her and I thought Broadway was her.
Wow.
Because I was from Australia. I didn't know where Broadway was. I didn't even know it was a place.
Yeah.
It's just a
Yeah.
word.
Yeah.
But to me, Ethel Merman was Broadway. And
But you were born in England and then moved to Australia,
that's right.
Okay.
Yeah, we were 10-pound pom. I was a 10-pound pom. We moved from
Okay.
England, the whole family, for £10, to Australia, and
Uh-huh.
I stayed there till I was 9. In Adelaide till I was 9, and then we went to Sydney, and then I went to the Royal Ballet School when I was 17. So that was my first adventure to England.
And what do you think of New York? Do you like being
I
here?
adore it.
Yeah.
I adore it. Seriously, even more this time. The third time. This third trip seems to have just done it for me. Like I just don't want to go. I just adore it. I've always loved it, but it used to make me nervous. New York. It's this kind of it is. It's a scary city,
Yeah.
but an incredibly exciting city. And for what I love to do,
Yeah.
it's
So
just.
do you feel
it.
like you're able to, now that the show's open, people are loving it, does that sort of give you a nice relaxation? You're going to have like a nice summer and be able to explore and enjoy
Yeah.
yourself here?
Oh, for sure. And
Yeah.
so many visitors, so many friends from overseas are coming to see the show, and just catching up with old mates as well. It's great.
George wants to know, and I don't know if there is one, what's the major difference between theater in New York, London, and Australia?
There's just probably more demand for it here. Our culture in Australia is not so theatre orientated. I wish it was a little more, but we don't have the population, of course, that you
Right,
have.
right.
England probably similar to the States, but
Mm-hmm.
I just think the vibe in America, especially for musical theatre, is
Mm-hmm.
a lot more vibrant. Yes, it's very exciting.
You're known as one of the sort of big Australian West End divas. Have you met a lot of the Broadway divas?
Not a lot.
You haven't like met, are they aware of you? Are they
I
like
don't
Caroline O'Connor?
think so. No, I don't think so, but no. I mean, I'm
Who
obviously
are
a
you
huge
fans
fan.
of? You told me you started by saying you're a big like theater fan.
Yeah.
So who would you like love to like work with or get to do something
Well,
with?
I mean, I'll be honest with you. Who I'm working with right now, she thrills. I just find her thrilling. Mary Beth Peel to me is just
Oh, the
so incredible.
The best,
She
yeah.
really is. She's extraordinary, and we have such fun backstage. She's so naughty, and we laugh a lot. So I love working with her. But I mean, I try to see a lot during rehearsals. I saw a lot of shows, and
Uh-huh.
I haven't seen Christine Ebersole and Patty LuPone
Right.
yet. I would
Right.
love to see that.
Yeah.
But certainly over the years, I've always tried to see all the ladies
Yeah,
of
yeah,
the
yeah.
New
You,
York
you
stage.
have to. It's like a pack. It's a
Oh, for
pack
sure.
of you.
And to me, it's so inspiring, truly.
Mm-hmm.
And also because they've had such great careers, long careers. It's
Right.
brilliant.
They love hearing about onstage mishaps. I mean, Elizabeth wants to know specifically about anything that's happened with John Bolton on stage. Anything like hilarious mishaps.
Well,
or-
I don't know if he might not like me telling the story, but I think it's hilarious. But we do this huge kiss.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you noticed. In the show, but it's quite a long kiss in the show, and it is hilarious. I mean, it's hard for us to not laugh when we're
Right.
doing it. But I started to get allergies about 2 weeks ago, and I found it really hard to breathe. And for some reason, just the angle that we're at in this kiss, my nostrils were pushed up against his face, and I actually couldn't breathe. I was literally. It was sucked in, and he didn't know that I couldn't breathe, and I'm sort of trying to fight him off a little bit. And when we came off, I was like, John, seriously, I could not breathe. And he was like, oh, I didn't know, I knew there was something wrong. But yeah, that was, well, I could have died. I mean, it's very serious. He wasn't taking it very seriously. I was like, stop kissing me.
Well, I'm glad it worked out. That would have been quite a twist in the show.
And then she died.
George wants you to play Helena Rubinstein. So when you see that, that might be a role to check out. Why not?
Yeah.
I think that'd be fabulous.
Oh, I've got some on the bucket list.
Yeah.
For sure. As you can
I'm
imagine.
upset I missed I really wanted to see when you did Follies in Chicago, right? You were Phyllis. That was like a really cool production.
Gary Griffin directing.
Yeah, Gary Griffin,
amazing.
right.
And Brent Barrett was my husband.
Right.
And Susan Moniz was in it, and it was
great.
thrilling. It was beautiful. Alex Sanchez did the most fantastic choreography. If
I had like $5 million in my pocket, spoiler, I don't.
Okay.
And I could just produce your next like Broadway revival, what role would you pick? If you could do any show, opening in the fall, which one? What are we doing?
Oh, it's so hard because whenever I meet people or people come to the show, they always say to me, "You've got to do Mame at some point. You have to do
Well,
Mame."
and Mame has to come back.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Amazing. But so people say that to me. But a few years ago, I did Sweeney Todd in Paris.
Right.
And
at
it
the
was
Châtelet, right?
At the Châtelet.
Yeah.
Very posh. And that was probably the most thrilling show.
Sondheim saw it, right?
And Sondheim came, yes. That year was really weird, actually, because I did his 80th birthday at the Royal Albert Hall, a concert. I'd never been involved in a Sondheim production or show before. And then I did Sweeney Todd in Paris. And then I did Assassins at Milwaukee Rec.
I saw that, yeah.
And also I did Follies as well.
Follies,
It was
yeah.
like all of a sudden it was like the Sondheim year. Everything was Sondheim. And he came to 3 of those pieces. And
Wow.
I actually thought he was stalking me, but turns out he wasn't. It just was per chance he was there.
I love it.
Yeah, I mean, Sweeney's amazing.
So
It's incredible.
Sweeney, maybe
Yeah,
Sweeney?
but there's a couple of plays I'd like to do because I'm a little bit off the wall. I'd love to do The Lion in Winter.
Oh.
I would love to do that, and I would love to do like Virginia Woolf, one of those sort of screaming women. Perfect for me. So not necessarily comedy, maybe something a bit darker would be fun. But yeah, maybe another new musical like Anastacia.
Yes.
A newly written
Well, this is
piece.
a nice surprise.
Yeah.
You never saw this one coming.
Absolutely not. No,
Yeah.
and that's fun, getting to create something from scratch. It really is.
Yeah.
Because Lily certainly developed, from day one of rehearsals to the opening, and Terence and the creative team were very open to ideas, so it was
Which
wonderful.
is like a dream for an actor just to feel like you have a voice.
Absolutely, yeah. And this year's been such a great year to be here with all the new shows.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I'm so thrilled you're on Broadway.
Oh, thank you.
I hope you stick around for a while and keep doing more and more things.
I would love to.
Yeah.
I would love to, and it's just great to meet you guys. Love the show.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming by. Everyone, go
Pleasure.
check out Anastacia. It's at the Broadhurst Theater. By the way, I love seeing musicals at the Broadhurst. It's like such a cool,
Isn't it?
intimate, beautiful theater.
It's a hug.
Yeah. Go get a hug from Caroline O'Connor and Anastacia at the Broadhurst Theater. And we'll be back tomorrow at 5 o'clock with another great guest. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Bye.